Tip number 1. When you start with the get an intel heist mission for the Cayo Perico heist, make sure to not go towards the location immediately, but first go towards this seat that is right inside of your Cosetka, because right here you have the option to fast travel right towards that location, which only costs $2,000 if you've completed the heist the first time, else it will cost you $10,000, which will be a one-time only thing. Now the best way to go towards the location is to do this with the Sparrow. You can buy this in the war stock where you need to click on your Cosetka, and if you go in your moonpool vehicles, you will see that you will be able to buy the Sparrow if you haven't already for $1.8 million. The reason why this is so great is because this is right at the back of your Cosetka, so every time you start a mission, you can immediately enter your Sparrow and exit this place. Now if you want to even upgrade your Sparrow as well, you can simply enter it, and in the top left corner you will see that you will be able to modify your aircraft. Here you will be able to put homing missiles on it, which are unlimited missiles that you will be able to use when flying the Sparrow, so definitely grab them. Now when you're in the Phelan and are driving off with this, make sure that once you've made enough speed and you're going upwards, to retract the wheels as soon as you can, because this will make the takeoff a little bit faster. And when you're at the Cayo Perico Island, always use this bike to go towards the communication tower. However, sometimes it may happen that you get spotted where you will have lost this bike and might think that you need to use one of these vehicles, which is extremely slow. But if you follow the route that I'm showing you right now in this video, if you run up all the way towards this back, where you actually don't have to worry about this guard getting in his vision because he is completely friendly, all the way in the back you will see a second bike that you can take in case you fail the heist, which will save you honestly a lot of time instead of just running towards that place or using one of the other cars. Now while you're driving towards the communication with your bike, you need to be extremely careful to not drive too close towards one of the guards or the cars that are driving, because if you get too close to them, they can hear the engine sound of your motorbike, which will immediately catch you and put you back at the start. And now when you finally arrive at the communication tower, if you do not see a guard standing right at this front of the place, it means that the signal box at the communication tower will be all the way towards the bottom. You just need to look for it. It might be at some different locations. But if you do see the guard at this place right at the front, you do need to climb up this ladder in order to see where the signal box is. And once you eventually found it, doing the hack is actually pretty easy. The only thing that you will have to do is match up the target that is shown on the top with the numbers on the left side. And the first icon that is shown on the right will multiply the number times 1. The second icon will multiply it times 2. And the last icon will multiply this times 10. Now the first very few cameras you can completely skip, as they are honestly just useless, until you come at this camera angle where you will be able to scope out the primary loot, which in my case was the ruby necklace that I got. If this place is empty for you, keep going towards the left side because you might have the barrel bonds where you will see this safe open. Now I do recommend scoping out all of the other points as well if you're doing this with one other or more players, since you will be able to know which loot is the most valuable. But if you're just doing this solo, I recommend you to scope out one more spot, which is in the office, because there are two locations where you might have a painting, which is either at this location or at the next camera angle right in the other corner. And as I said before, multiple people keep scoping this out. As you can see, I got a painting and gold. And if you didn't know yet, the best possible loot that you can get is gold, which will pay you the most amount of money. Next to that, you have the white stuff, then the green stuff, after that paintings, and the worst possible loot that you can get is cash. Now in order to fill up your loot bags with gold, you need 1.5 stacks to fill this up all the way, 2 stacks for the white stuff, 2.7 for the green stuff, 2 paintings, and for cash you will need a total of 4 stacks. And then when you've scoped out everything that you want to collect in the main heist, don't run all the way back towards the plane, because there is a way faster way to go back inside of your Cosetka, which will save you a lot of time. You do this by opening up your interaction menu, going towards preferences, and right over here you want to set your spawn location at the Cosetka. And now open up your settings, go towards online, and you can join a new session over here, which will spawn you right at your Cosetka. Now if you want to scope out the loot at the main dock as well, all you have to do is mark this location and then drive towards that place, because when you arrive over there, I recommend you to drive right around this place, and you actually don't need to go all the way towards the loot. You can simply take out your phone, zoom in with it, and then take a picture of it, which you will then be able to immediately send to Pavel. This will honestly help you a lot, since you will be guaranteed outside of the the guard's vision, which makes it impossible to get spotted. Now when you're doing the weapon loadout prep, no matter which loadout you want to choose, you can always choose to skip buying the suppressor, because the suppressor will cost you $5,000, which honestly isn't too much at all. But over time, if you do this heist a lot of times, it's just unnecessary money wasted, because eventually when you're doing the final heist, the suppressors will be automatically equipped, so you don't have to worry about this at all. Personally, my favorite loadout is the aggressor one. You will get an automatic pistol where you will be able to precisely kill the enemies with, and in case you want to take down the juggernaut, you will have the assault shotgun to make this real easy. Now when you start one of the weapon loadout missions, you honestly never want to do the Meriwether HQ, because this is the worst mission, because it takes way too long of a time to complete this thing. In order to not do this mission and get the easier one, you can either choose to just set your spawn location at the Kosetka again and then join a new session, or if you bought the missiles for your Kosetka, you can also go towards this place where you will be able to launch a bullet right at the helicopter on top of the roof, which will fail the heist prep. Now just start it again until you get one of the other locations that you will see on the bottom other than the Meriwether HQ. And if you haven't yet, make sure to fast travel to Vespucci Beach, because this will be a great location to do all of these setups. For the weapon loadout mission, I recommend you to always land on top of the roof, because here you will be able to do this in complete stealth mode, where if you would go to the bottom, you will alert everyone. Now when you enter the office, a way to do this in complete stealth mode is to take out one of your pistols with a suppressor on it, and then shoot one bullet at the door, which will open this and will let you kill the first guard at the front. Then keep walking straight forward, because you want to kill two guards here as well, and then there will be a final one that you want to take down on the left side. Now that you're exiting this place, make sure to always choose to exit through the roof, because that is where a vehicle is. And now you will see that there will be two helicopters spawning around you, but you don't want to kill the pilot itself, but the guards that are right behind it that are shooting at you, because if you kill the pilot itself, they will respawn and easily take you down. So if you just do it like I'm showing you right now, by just killing the guy that is in the back, the helicopters will still be following you around, but they will not be able to harm you at all. And now for the equipment setups, you actually never want to do the demolition charges. It might say on the bottom that the prep is mandatory. However, if you do the plasma cutter, fingerprint cloner, and the cutting torch, you will actually complete all the mandatory preps, so you honestly don't need to waste your time on the first one. When you're starting with the plasma cutter, you will always have to go towards the safe house, and when you arrive at the location, this mission is honestly pretty simple. All you need to do is immediately take out your phone, take a picture of this, and send this to Pavel. Now walk a bit forwards and back so you can exit this place, and just by doing this, you will save a lot of time. When you're starting with the cutting torch, you will always have to head over towards the construction site, but don't just run in there, because you will be able to collect a yellow helmet, which in my case is right over here, where you will be able to run throughout the entire construction site without getting spotted, because even if you run through the guards' their visions, they won't be able to spot you, which will make it real easy to find the cutting torch. Just make sure to not run into the guards themselves, because this will let them spot you and they will start all shooting at you. But for doing the approach setup, there are actually two popular setups that most people use, which are the Kosetka approach and the Longfin one. I will show you both how to do them the fastest way possible, starting with the Kosetka prep. When you start with this, we're not going towards the Meriwether test site. Instead, what you want to do is go towards the fast travel location, and then again choose the closest one that is towards the yellow dot on your map. Now when you arrive at that place, don't leave yet, because in the top left corner you will be able to see that you can drive this Kosetka. So choose that option, and what you want to do is drive towards the other Kosetka that is at the Meriwether test site, and when you arrive at that point, go a bit downwards so you're above the other Kosetka. Now you're not going to leave the Kosetka from the regular place, because we will be going down this ladder where you will be able to exit the Kosetka from the bottom, where no enemies will be able to shoot you, and you can immediately enter the other submarine. And now when you found the Sana Jammer, which you will be easily able to spot, you can exit from the same place, and now all you gotta do is just swim up and go back inside your Kosetka, which will complete this heist prep. Now for the Longfin setup, the fastest way to do this is before you even start with this heist, go towards Warstock, where you will be able to buy the Phantom Wedge for $1.9 million. This is honestly honestly worth it because I will show you that in just a second. Just start the mission and go towards the police station, because when you arrive at that place, you will see that you will have to find a truck cab which is pretty far away. Instead, if you have the phantom wedge, you can simply open up your interaction menu, go towards manage vehicles, and you will be able to request the phantom wedge under special vehicles. This will spawn in just a few seconds right next to you, where if you wouldn't have this, you will have to go all the way towards this location to grab this vehicle and then drive back to the location where the longfin is. Now before you actually collect the longfin, open up your map and mark this exact location that is on your map, because this is the location that we're going towards each time. Now the only thing that you will have to do is just drive backwards to it. If you want to make it a bit easier so you don't just die like I almost did, you can choose to duck, which is by pressing X on PC. When you arrived at the location that we marked before, you can speed this a little bit up by going towards this side, and if you like me have the cops right behind you, simply exit the longfin and take any explosive that you have to blow yourself up, because this will immediately lose them. Now just get back in your longfin and drive towards the marked location, where you will then complete this heist prep. But now when you're starting with the final heist, you just have to choose all of your setups, but you can completely ignore the weapon loadout to equip these suppressors, because as I said previously, you don't need to buy these suppressors, plus you also don't need to equip that because both will be done automatically for you. When you're eventually at the compound, a little speedrun trick is if you go into first person mode, you will be able to run up these stairs way faster. There are quite a few stairs inside of the main compound, especially when you're also going towards the safe which is inside of the office. But before you get there, it is important to get the gate keys, where you will be able to speed this up a lot. I will show you in a bit which route you need to take to get the gate keys every single time. Now when you arrive at the office, always make sure to collect the safe right at the back, because you will be able to get between $30,000 and $99,000, which is honestly some great money to get extra. Now if you scoped out the paintings, make sure to collect them at either one of these two locations. And if you have never done this before, don't leave this area yet, because behind this desk, you will be able to unlock this drawer, where you will unlock a special gun, which is the Cayo Perico pistol, that you will now have for the rest of your GTA career. But now it's time to go towards the primary target. If you do not have the gate keys, you will have to do the hack right over here. But since I have the gate key, I can go all the way down and do just only one hack over here. Doing the fingerprint is honestly pretty easy, but if you're having difficulties matching this up, a real easy way to do this is just put every pattern on the first location, and now all you have to do is just move them up one by one. The first one is already correct, so you don't need to move that. The second one you only have to move one time. The third one you will have to move 2 times. Fourth one 3 times, and the rest is pretty self-explanatory. If you are not struggling with this, you honestly don't even need to do this, because most of the time the bottom 4 patterns are already set up the correct way, so you only have to do the top ones. And now once we're in, we can collect the primary loot. If you didn't know yet, the best primary loot that you can get is the pink diamond. After that you have the bearer bonds, then ruby necklace, and the worst one that you can get is the tequila. For some special events you might also get the panther statue, but this is honestly pretty rare. Now if you have to cut through the glass, the fastest way to do this is overheat it towards the end and then release it when it is right at the beginning. Complete this a total of 4 times and you will be able to cut through the glass the fastest way possible and get the primary target. If you got the bearer bonds, you simply just gotta apply the save code towards the safe. Now there is also an elite challenge. With the elite challenge you will be able to get $50,000 or $100,000 on hard mode. If you don't restart the heist, no one gets detected, and if you complete it under 15 minutes with a full loot bag. If your loot bags are already full, just kill this guard and take this bike to exit the Cayo Perico island. Just take the route that I'm showing you right now and drive between these bushes and make as much speed as you can to launch yourself off of the island. And now the easiest way to lose them is just to swim towards these 3 bombs that are in a triangle until you see on the bottom that the text has disappeared. Now there is a cooldown when you want to start the heist again. If you do this solo, you will have to wait 2 hours and 24 minutes in order to start this again. But if you do this with one other or more players, it will only take you 48 minutes, which is 1 in-game day, to start this heist again. But if you started within the first 48 minutes when the cooldown has ended, you are able to get hard mode on this heist, which will pay you a bit more money, where the only difficulty of the heist will increase when you have to do the fingerprint clone hack. But previously I've mentioned how you will be able to kill all the guards and get the gate keys. In this video I've shown you exactly exactly how you can do that as a solo player without getting detected.